Okay. We will go into the next topic, which is our bot kit. Okay, so before we see the integration of the bot kit, let's understand what is the bot kit. Okay, so it is a set of libraries that provides you with precision control of bot interactions and typically used when you want to integrate your bot with some other external applications, like maybe a live agent transfer, or some clients are there, they already have their own NLP. Okay, so they don't want to use our platform's NLP. So whenever an utterance comes from the user, they want to send this utterance to their own NLP engine, have that NLP engine identify the intent that is returned back to the this particular layer, and from here the identified intent is sent to our bot for execution of the task. So this kind of an integration here, you are not talking about calling the bot over a channel, but these are certain integrations that you are doing with external systems, with external applications, from where you are changing the way the bot is working. Okay, so maybe integrating it with an external NLP engine, or you are integrating it with a live agent transfer where our bots platform stops working and a live agent takes over the conversation with the end user. So all this kind of integrations can be done through the BotKit SDK. BotKit SDK also allows you precision control over the messages that are coming from the user, or the messages that are going from the bot to the user. The purpose behind this may be, let's say today you have developed a bot. You are deploying the same bot for multiple clients that you have. Now, one of the clients says that I don't like the way the bot is showing this response, or I don't like, my users are going to say these set of utterances, and if these utterances comes from the user, then this is the task that needs to be triggered. The task is there, but the task has not been trained with those utterances. So one way is you change the entire configuration of the bot, because once you are publishing a bot, you are updating the published version. So you do not have multiple published versions, and each published version can be used by somebody else. Okay, so I want an earlier published version, I'm talking to that, and today whatever changes you made and you publish the bot, that doesn't affect me. It cannot work like that. Whenever you are publishing, the previous published version gets updated with the new changes. So if you make changes to the NLP training, that is going to affect all the people, all the clients who are using that particular bot, for whomever you are allowing the users to use that particular bot. Okay, so if a special requirement like this comes up, where you have some people or some instances where certain utterances coming from the user should trigger a particular task, you do not want to make changes to the configuration of the NLP engine, then you can do that through the BotKit. So at the BotKit layer, you can say if the user's utterance matches with this, then perform this task. So that task is already configured, but you are not asking the NLP engine to do the intent identification. But from the BotKit itself, you are identifying which task needs to be performed and pushing that identified task to our platform. So the NLP engine starts off with the execution of the task. So it gives you a further control on the bot that you have published. Okay, this is an external kit outside our outside our bots platform. Wherever you want to enable the bot kit to do this kind of integration, you need to download our bot kit SDK into the server from where you want to do this integration. Okay, so it is not a part of our platform that once you have a platform, the bot kit will be available. This set of libraries and files which are required to do this is available on our GitHub. From the server from where you want to integrate to the bot bot using the BotKit, you have to download the BotKit SDK over there. Okay. The second thing is within the BotKit SDK, you will get a multiple files, and within those files, you can do the configuration. And this layer is between the user and the bot. Okay, so if you have the BotKit installed, in that case, the users will talk when an utterance comes from the user. It will hit the BotKit first. In the BotKit, whatever you have done, whatever configuration you have done, that will take place. And then from the BotKit, the request will go to the bot. Similarly, when a response is coming from the bot, it will not directly go to the user, but it will go through the BotKit. Okay, so once again, you can change those responses and display it back to the user. So you're not making changes to the configuration of the bot, but you are making those changes in the external layer, that is the BotKit layer. This BotKit is a Node.js application, so you need to. So when you download BotKit, within that you also have the Node.js, and you need to start the execution of Node.js before you can interact with a bot through the BotKit layer. So typical examples of where you want to use the BotKit may be the user asks a question or provides a response that the bot is not designed to answer. So one is you make changes to the configuration of the bot. The other is handle this through the BotKit. Okay. User request for chat with live agent. Okay, so anytime maybe on the sentiment, sentiment of the user, you want to handle it to the live agent, or the user says that I need to talk to the live agent. So all of these can be configured through the BotKit. Let's look into what is the content of that BotKit. So this BotKit entirely works on events. So different events. So when the user is sending a message to the bot on the BotKit layer, if it is installed, there is an event that gets triggered, which is known as the on message event. And within that on message event, you have two functions, that is on user message and on bot message. Sorry, there are two sub events, which is on user message and on bot message. The user message event will be triggered when a message is coming from the user. The bot message event will be triggered when a message is coming from the bot as a response to the user. Okay, so within these events, you can have the configuration through which you can handle the user request, or you can make changes to the bot response before it is displayed back to the user. Similarly, you have an event called on webhook. Okay, so whenever within a dialog task you have a webhook node through which you want to connect your dialog task to an external application. So on reaching that particular dialog task, on reaching that particular node on the BotKit layer, the event that is triggered is the on webhook. Similarly, you have an event called on agent transfer. So if you have an agent transfer node in your dialog task and that node comes into the context on the BotKit layer, the event that will be triggered is the on agent transfer event. Similarly, you have on alert. So if you have alert tasks and if the bot receives an alert, then on the BotKit, this is the event that gets triggered. On variable update, whenever the bot is published, then this is the event. And any client third-party application events can be handled through the on client event. So these are different events, and in each of these events, you can tell in the BotKit what will be the behavior of the bot. Okay, so you can set up the entire behavior of the bot depending on the event that you want to track within this particular BotKit. So let's look into the configuration of the BotKit. How can we do it? Now remember, you have to download your BotKit from our GitHub, and once you download, this will be the content of your BotKit. So this is the entire content where you can see your libraries which are required in order to do this configuration, and along with that you have some JavaScript files which are available. Now each of these files will have the configurations for different use cases. Okay, I'm going to show you an example where I'm going to handle this user messages. Okay, so if the user says something for which my bot is not trained, I want to handle those kind of situations through the botket layer. Okay, so there are JavaScript files which are created for handling these kind of situations. All I need to do as a developer is go into the file and provide my configuration details. Okay, so I'll come to these files later on, but these files will be available once you download the Botket master from our GitHub, and it will be a zip folder. You need to expand that folder in the server from where you want to do this integration. Where the Botket is not there, the bot will, you can talk directly to the bot. But once you enable a Botket, you should have the Botket files available in the server from where you want to do this integration. So let's look at the bot end. What are the changes that we need to do? Now this bot has very little tasks and all, so I'm just going to change it to another bot where I have better tasks through which I can show you this particular integration. So I'm using this bot where I have multiple task configurations, similar to the one that I was using in the training. But you can see over here, there are tasks like to make payment, to check balance, to open an account, to apply for cards, and there is a task called raise issues. Okay, so you can see there are different tasks. You can see in the NLP section, you can see there is a welcome message for the bot. Okay, so from default conversation, if you come to event handlers, within this event handlers, you have all the welcome events that will be triggered. So on connect event that I have over here has a welcome message, which displays a message like this: hello there, I'm your banking assistant. I can open account, check balance, or make payments. I can also answer to FAQs. What can I do for you? So this is the message that is there. So let's integrate the bot kit with this particular bot. So what I do over here is, to start off with the integration, the first step is download the bot kit. Once you have downloaded, in the bot, come to API extensions, and within API extensions, you have this particular section, bot kit SDK. So when you are enabling the bot kit, once again, all of it is, there's a particular standard that we maintain. Bot kit is again an external thing to our bot. Okay, so once again, if you are calling a bot from an external application or layer, you need the client ID and secret, which will be used to create the GWT. Okay, so when you are enabling the bot kit, remember, you have to create an app, and once you create an app, what you get is the client ID and the client secret. This will be required in the configuration of the bot kit. So you can download your BotKit SDK from here. So you can see our reference over here. Click over here. It will take you to our GitHub, from where you can download this particular folder structure. Now, there's one more thing that you need to do, that is ngrok works as a callback server in this case. So you need to have ngrok installed in the server from where you're doing this integration, and start ngrok. Now, when you start ngrok, you get the forwarding URL, the HTTPS forwarding URL. So once you start ngrok, copy this forwarding URL, because that will be used within our bot's configuration. So you can see the callback URL over here. Here I have provided the ngrok forwarding URL which is there. So you can see this is the forwarding URL. I've copied it from here and I have pasted it here. Okay. The next is select the events that you want to track from the BotKit. I have selected all of it, but you can just select any one. Like, you are only going to do the integration with the messages that are passing between the bot and the user. So just select this event on message. Okay. If you want to do integration from the BotKit for the webhook nodes, then you can select this one. So it gives you an explanation of when each of these events will be triggered, and depending on what configuration you want to do from the BotKit, select that particular event. Okay, and once you have done all of these things, you have provided the settings, you have started your ngrok, you can save this configuration on the bot. Okay. Um, After you have configured this, the next step is to make changes in the required file of the BotKit. So here, since I'm going to work with the messages, what I do is I open the required files. Okay, so you can see the file structure over here. The three files that I will need over here is the app.js file, the config.json file, and the simple conversation bot .js file. You can go through each of these files and see what is the coding, the JavaScript coding which is there. If you want to integrate with some external NLP engine, you will get the uh, coding to do that over here in that particular file. So if you open the file, you can see that if you are integrating with API.ai, okay, so that is an external NLP engine. Then this is the function that will be triggered where you need to provide your configuration. Similarly, if you want to integrate with Louis.ai, so we have all the codes available. All and you need to do as a developer is provide the required URLs from where you are going to refer to that particular NLP engine. Okay, the authorization. Okay, so the token that will be needed for this particular authorization. So you need to provide some of the data, but the rest of the coding which will be required to do the integration, that is available in these files. Similarly, when I'm working with messages only, I'm going to use the simple conversation bot.js file. Okay, you can see within this file I have the on user message event over here, on bot message event over here. So these events are already there. Also dummy code is there which will tell the developer that these are the functions you can use. Send user message, this function, through this function you can send a message from the BotKit to the user. Similarly, if you want to send a message to our bot from the BotKit layer, then the function to be used is send bot message. So you have all this configuration. All you need to do is provide the data which you need to track through this particular BotKit. Okay, and what you need to provide over here is the ID of the bot with which you want to integrate with this BotKit and the name of the bot. Okay, so this is the ID and this is the name of the bot. Okay, and over here I have said so my bot is not trained to handle an utterance like none of these. So when the bot says that I can open an account, check balance, make payments, user says what can I do for you, the user responds back with none of these. I have not trained my bot for handling any this kind of an utterance. I don't want to train my bot with that. Okay, but I want to handle if the user says none of this, then there should be a message back to the user which says, sorry, I could not help you with any task. Is there anything I can do for you? Now, this message is not coming from the bot. It is coming from the BotKit layer itself. So when the user sends a message, once I enable the BotKit, that message hits the BotKit. Now, it's up to the developer to decide whether he wants to push that message to the bot, or whether from there itself he wants to handle that situation and send back a static message to the user. Okay, no need to bother the bot because the bot has not been trained to handle this. Okay, so here I just want to display a message to the user that sorry, I couldn't help you with anything. Okay, that I'm doing it from the BotKit layer itself. Okay, so you can see over here itself I've handled it. So I'll be showing you some other alternative codes also, but this is the first use case that I have. Okay, and after I have done that configuration in this particular file, the other two files where I need to do the configuration is config.json file, where once again you need to provide your ngrok callback URL over here, and in credentials we need the client ID and the client secret. API key is the client secret and API ID is the client ID. So you can see over here I have copied these two things over here. So this is my client secret. You can see the client secret over here. And this is my client ID that I have copied over here. Okay, so these are the things that you need to configure in config.json file. And in app.js file, you don't need to do anything. Only ensure this particular JavaScript file, which has your configuration to control the conversation between the bot and the end user through the botkit layer, that is included. Okay, so SDK.register bot required, and I have simple conversation bot.js. I can disable the rest of it because I'm not making any changes. Now, these files might look, there are different, book a cab, order a pizza. These are names which are given, but if you look into the configuration of these, you will see these are different use cases. Like book a cab is for the webhook integration. So when you are making a call to a particular application using the webhook, you can control certain parameters of that integration through the botkit layer. So if you want to see what are the things that you can do, you can open this particular JavaScript file and look into what is the content of that file. You will get the entire JavaScript coding of what you can do using the botkit. Okay, and then make your changes as per your requirement. Similar to what I am doing over here through the simple conversation bot.js. Now, once you have all of these things ready, you have configured these. You have, of course, you should start your ngrok before only, because you need that forwarding URL for this configuration. But once you have done all of these things, you need to start your Node.js, because this will be used for generating the JWT. Okay. So we start the Node.js application, and once you start the Node.js application, it should come up with a app listening at this particular port. Okay, so once you have that, now if I talk to the bot, okay, so let's see how it is working. Okay, so now you can see the welcome message coming up from the bot. And here I say, if I say any task, it will work, but I have not trained my bot to understand something like this. So now I say none of these. But I have handled this through the botkit layer. So see, from the botkit, a message is sent back to the user. This message, I have not trained my bot, but from where am I displaying this message? This message is getting displayed from the botkit itself. That is, sorry, I could not help you with any task. Is there anything else I can do for you? Now let's say I say I want to make payments. Okay. Now the bot will come back with a message like, I need your account number to proceed with this transaction. Now you will see within my files, okay, within this file, I have handled the situation. So when the bot is asking, when the bot response is equal to this, please enter your account number, I have changed that particular message, and I say, I need your account number to proceed with this transaction. And I've sent this new message back to the user. So I'm not directly displaying what the bot is responding back with, but I'm trapping that particular response of the bot, making changes on that in the botkit, and displaying the message back to the user. Okay, so that is what these are certain things that you can, that gives you greater control on the bot. So it is not only that you are doing these through your task configurations, you are doing these through your NLP training, but additional to that, you also can enable the botkit, though it is a separate layer. You need a server to enable and all these things. A lot of effort goes into it, but still, if you have enabled your botkit, you can control the entire performance of the bot from there. Something like, let's say, none of these. When I say none of these, let's say there is a task which is designed to handle that. Okay, if the user doesn't like anything that is configured within the bot. Let's, in my case, what I want to do is, I have a task over here called raise issue. Okay, I want to trigger that particular task. Just a hypothetical situation where you want to trigger a task against an utterance which is coming from the end user. Okay, I'm assuming over here, the use case that I'm assuming here is I want to trigger this particular task. Okay, how can we do it? One way is I train this task with an utterance like none of these. The other way around is if I have enabled the botkit, then from botkit I can trigger the execution of this task. And how can I do it? I can come over here and I say that if the user's this thing matches with none of these, then in the data in this, what I do is I say something like this. I say what is the name of the task report issue. Okay, so okay, and I push this to the bot. Okay, so the send user message is sending the message back to the user. Okay, but what I'm doing right now is I want this to be sent to the bot, so I'm going to use this function over here, that is send bot message. Okay, so I just comment this line out and I add over here. Okay, so send bot message and followed by data. So within the data object, I have the message element which stores the message report issue. So when the bot, to the bot, if I say report issue, now what will happen is the NLP will trigger the execution of that task. Okay, so you can see it from here. NLP will always trigger the execution of a task if the utterance of the user has these words, which are common with the name of the NLP, name of the task, due to the setting of the fundamental meaning engine. Okay, so now if I see a report issue, this is the task that should be triggered.
Jayanti, you have to give the name of the task or the label. Name of the task, right?
Name of the task.
Yeah,
Okay.
there shouldn't be a space between the one that you mentioned.
No, 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 no. Name of the task means the label words. Sorry, I didn't get your question. Okay, so let's say over here, I can answer. Okay. So I say something. Sorry. Okay, so now if I tell the bot here, okay, there is a particular setting that I need to check for the NLP engine. Remember this because FM engine identifies a task depending on the presence of the label words in the task name. Label words means the words which are used in the task name, whether they are present in the utterance of the user or the synonyms that you have provided for those words are present in the utterance of the user or not. Okay, so right now I have disabled that. This should be enabled or you should have a pattern to trigger that particular task. Okay, anyway. So now once I do this, now while talking to the bot, I'm not using anything over there. I'll show that integration. So if I say raise issue, then this task should be triggered from by the bot. Okay, so you can see the report issue task is getting triggered. Okay, sorry, the task name is report issue. Okay, so that is the task that is getting triggered by the bot. Okay, so I'm going to use those words from the botkit layer so that when these utterance comes to the bot, the NLP engine of the bot will trigger the execution of this task. Okay, so it is not, yeah, it's report issue. So let's see, after I have made these changes, let's save it over here. And once you make a change, remember to restart your Node.js, okay, because any changes should be handled. So I restarted and now I talk to the bot once again. Okay, so okay, so see immediately the task that got executed was the report issue task. Now this report issue task, I have not trained it with this utterance, okay? But how is this task getting executed? Because I'm handling the situation from the bot-get layer. So at the bot-get layer, what I have said is, if the user's utterance matches with this, okay, then what you can do is, you can send this particular message to the bot, because when the bot receives this report issue, this message comes to the bot. Immediate the NLP engine of the bot will do what? This is the utterance of the user. For the bot, this is the utterance, that is the report issue. And if this utterance comes from the user, then the NLP engine of this bot will start the execution of the report issue task. So that is how, from the bot-get layer, depending on utterances, we can control the flow of different tasks. So even if your bot is not trained to handle something, but you have the bot-get, you do not want to change the training that has been provided to your bot. You do not want to add additional things and all. So in that case, use the bot-get layer in order to handle those kind of situations. Okay, so from the bot-get layer, you can tell what is the message that will be sent to the bot, and when the bot receives that, it is going to start the execution of that particular task. Okay, is this clear to you all, whatever we are discussing till here? Okay, so similarly, you can see on bot message, you can handle different things. So let's say today the bot has been trained, to display a particular response, but that response is not adequate to be displayed to the end users. So one way is you change the configuration of the bot, where you make a change in that message. The other way is, if you have the bot-get layer, you may not make change in your bot itself, but you can make the change over here. So at the bot-get, you can say that if the bot message is equal to this, then this is the message to be displayed back to the user. So you store it within the data.message and push that data object to the user using the function send user message. Okay, so these are different ways in which you can control. The next thing that I will show you all, I'll explain to you all, is how you can integrate your agent transfer. So in order to integrate the agent transfer, you need the bot-get layer over there. And okay, one more file I would like to show you all before I go to the agent transfer. Okay, so you can see over here, you have a similar file called the simple conversation bot with multiple bot IDs. Now, yesterday there was a question where you were asking that how can you trigger a task in a different bot? Okay, so you are talking to one bot, but you want to trigger a task in another bot. So I said one way out is universal bots. You connect all those bots, link up all those bots to your universal bot, allow the user to talk to the universal bot. Okay, and if the user's utterance, so you have seen yesterday universal bot, each of those bots try to identify an intent, and so that intent identification takes place across all the bots which are linked up to the universal bot. Okay, but if you wanted to do through the bot-get, you can do that also. Okay, so within the bot-get, if you have installed the bot-get, so you have a file over here called the simple conversation bot with multiple bot IDs, and here you can integrate multiple bots together. Okay, so just put the reference of all the bot IDs over here, the different bots which you want to integrate over here. Similarly, the names of the bot one after the other, separated by commas. Okay, and then from here, what you can do is you can do the entire configuration. Okay, so this works as a universal bot actually. So when you are sending a message, that particular message will hit all the bots which are integrated over there, and any one of the bot which is designed to handle that particular utterance will return the response back to the user. Okay, so you can do it either through the bot kit or you can do it through the universal bot. I personally feel universal bot is an easier approach because there you do not need the additional bot kit. You do not need any other server from where you need to install your bot kit and do all this integration. But if you already have your bot kit and you do not want to create an universal bot, you can do it from the bot kit layer as well. Okay. The other files for agent transfer. Now, when you're going in for agent transfer, there are certain changes that you need to do to your bot tasks. So let's say in this report issue task, after the this message is displayed, I can only show you all the configuration. I cannot show you the execution of this. So after this message, I want a live agent to take over. Okay, so what we do over here is we have an agent transfer node. Okay, so we create an agent transfer node over here. So the configuration of the agent transfer node will be displayed. Give a name to your agent transfer node, something like okay. What are the different events that you want to track? You can select all those events. Typically, you should be selecting only the on agent transfer node for the agent transfer node. These are automatically coming because these are enabled for my bot kit. Okay, and then you can see over here the callback URL has already been picked up from my ng-rock. Okay, so just remember to cross verify this that it matches. Okay, so so just check it out from here that it matches with the forwarding URL that you have. So it should be available over here. Client ID and all are picked up from the SDK configuration that you have for your bot. So if you once you add your live agent over here, come back to this thing, to API extensions, and under API extensions, you have a section called the agent transfer. Okay, so remember you go to agent transfer and you enable agent transfer. Okay, so since I had done BotKit before only, so that is why the configuration is automatically taken up. But today, if you only want to go in for agent transfer, you do not want to handle those on messages and everything, then you can just enable agent transfer from here. Okay, the configuration of it is the same as that you have for the bot kit. There's only one additional this thing over here, that is we provide when the agent transfer is taking place, the conversation history is also given to the live agent, so that the agent has a idea of what was the conversation that had taken place between the bot and the user. Now, if you have enabled some PII redaction, then those data will be redacted in this conversation that is given to the agent for reference. Okay, so here you can select that do you want to mask and send sensitive data to the agent, or you want to send the original data. By default, it is the mask data that we send because we do not want the agents to get hold of the sensitive data like your account number or your credit card number and all. So whatever you have enabled PII redaction, the redacted data should be sent as a reference to the agent. Now, once you have enabled this on the bot, the next is in your BotKit SDK, there are certain files which you need to look into. The two files for integrating is the live chat. Okay, one of it is the livechat.js file where we need to do the integration. So let's look into the configuration of this file. Okay, so you can see here you need to provide the bot ID and the bot name, and there are different functions which are related to agent transfer. Okay, so you can see the different functions defined over here. So function to get the conversation history. Okay, so this is how the conversation history will be sent. Function that will be triggered when connecting to the agent. Okay, so here you can provide the link of the chat history of the bot. You can see all of these configurations within this particular file. The other file that you need to look into for this particular configuration is the live chat API. So open this file, and this file will have all the APIs which you can use to integrate with the live agents. Okay, here you typically get to see for live chat integration, but you can change this depending on any other live chat sessions and any other agent that you want to use for live chat. Okay, so put your URLs over here. Okay, the default URLs are for live chat, and that is why I cannot show it, because live chat has changed the functions and all at their end. So our developers are working on this till now. So all this configuration has to be done over here. Once again, in this file also, you have to provide the bot ID and the name of the bot. And once you make these changes in these two files, the rest of it is the same. So after that, you should have your Node.js running for generating the JWT. And while talking to the bot, if your conversation hits that particular node, BotKit will take over from there, and it will integrate to an external live agent using the APIs that you have provided within your BotKit, and it will also provide the conversation history to that live agent for reference, and from there the conversation will take place between the live agent and the bot. Okay, so this is the purpose of the BotKit. But remember, for doing this integration, first of all, from where you want to do this integration, this entire BotKit has to be downloaded there. The integration has to be done. The specifications has to be done there. What you want to handle, that you have to provide. And at the bot end, you have to enable the BotKit. So once that is done, you will see whatever conversation that takes place between the bot and the end user goes through the BotKit layer. So it is one additional layer from where you can have enhanced control over the functionalities of your bot. Okay, you can look into this entire configuration, whatever configuration I was talking about. You can look into this entire configuration, the details in our documentation. So just search on BotKit. Okay, and you will get all the steps which are required in order to do the BotKit configuration. You can also see some examples over here, tutorials, like if you want to integrate the bot with Blue Prism. Okay, you can see that over here. If you want to go in for agent transfer, you can see that over here. So there are different use cases also which are given. You can follow these use cases to see how you can use your BotKit. But before that, click on installing the BotKit, and this document will give you a reference of how to go about with the integration of the BotKit. Okay, so BotKit SDK tutorial. Okay, so step by step you will get the entire configuration details over here. Any questions on this? So this is not something that every day you need to do, very special use case where you may have to install the BotKit and do the integration with the BotKit.
Can we, I have a question, like, do we have control over the already existing NLP engines using the BotKit? Like, can we have any control over that?
See, this is something additional to the NLP engine. So you have trained the NLP engine, okay? But what the utterance of the user is coming, the NLP engine is not handled not trained to handle that utterance. Okay, something like I have shown you right now. So one way is none of these. This should be a sample utterance for that particular task, or you can have a pattern, something like that. You can train the NLP engine, but I have not trained the NLP engine. So this is one step further of the NLP engine. You are handling situations from the BotKit, which the NLP engine has not been trained to handle. So that is what we are doing over here.
Like, maybe like the current thing, like whatever is there in the NLP engine, like which is being used in a machine learning model, or all those things, can we make changes to those models, the existing models in the platform?
No. You cannot change training of the NLP engine from the BotKit. Okay, that you cannot do, because if you want to change the training of that NLP engine, you want to add utterances and all, you have to do that at the bot level. But what you're doing from the bot kit level is additional to what training you have given. If you want, certain utterances, certain things coming from the user to trigger a particular, excuse me, to trigger a particular intent identification. Our NLP engine has not been trained to handle that. You can handle that from the bot-kit layer, but you cannot change the training of the NLP engine. Changing the training of the NLP engine to add utterances for the ML, to add patterns for FM and all that, you have to come and do it within the bot. You cannot do that from the bot-kit layer, but it is an additional to what you have done for the bot. Okay, so whatever training you have provided today, maybe a client says that I want to use your bot, but there are certain things other than what you have trained your NLP. I want those also to be handled by the bot. Now, one way is you change the entire training of your NLP as per your client's requirement. Other is that at their end, you install the bot kit. And from the bot kit, you handle all those utterances and trigger something for a bot which the NLP engine has been trained to handle. So when the user says none of this, what I'm sending from the bot kit is the utterance report issues, because our bot has been trained to handle an utterance like report issues should trigger the task called report issues. So what I'm doing is from the bot kit sending things to the bot which the bot understands, but the user doesn't know about it. So the user is giving something that the bot doesn't understand. So there is a middle layer through which I'm doing this interaction, and that is your bot-kit layer. Okay?
Okay. I have one more doubt.
Yeah, sure.
Like when you're adding an external NLP engine to the existing platform, like is there any restriction on the language that we can use, or like is there any restriction on that, or it can be like the external NLP engine can be coded in any language?
See, that is up to the external NLP engine, because there are some clients why we have this particular feature is, why we have this integration is. In my few days back, I had a training and there for one of the clients, and they said that we have trained our NLP engine. So we are using the IBM NLP engine. We have done the entire training for intent identification to that engine. But we want to use Core AI's platform to build the tasks and all. Okay, if you're building a task on Core AI's platform, you have to, and you want task identification to take place against the user utterance, you need to train a Core AI's NLP engine for that. But this training has been done on an external NLP engine. Now, how we can leverage that NLP engine along with the tasks which are developed on Core AI's platform. So this is a very special use case where clients already have some training done on an external NLP engine. They don't want to replicate that training once again on our platform. So here through the BotKit, we allow the clients to integrate to the external NLP engine. So what we do is when the utterance of the user comes, that is sent to the external NLP engine. That NLP engine identifies the intent, sends it to the BotKit layer, and the BotKit layer pushes that identified intent to our bot. So maybe the intents are created in that way, so that whatever is identified by the external intent engine, maybe the name of the task, and that task name can be sent to our platform. And you have seen that if we send the task name, then with FM's fundamental meaning engine's capability to identify a task depending on the label words used in the task name, we can trigger that task. So if the task name is identified by the external engine, we can send that identified task name to our platform. Our FM engine will start off with the execution of that task. So that is the purpose we have. But that is a very special use case, and how you are training the external NLP engine, that is totally up to the client. But if it is in some other language, remember that language has to be enabled for a bot as well. So today, if the external engine, if it allows training in German language and the entire training has been done in that, Then of course our bot also has to be enabled to understand the German language. If you have created the bot and trained the bot in English language, whereas you are sending an utterance or an identified intent in the German language, that might create a mismatch. So both the end it should match. Okay, but what you're doing in the external engine, it is totally outside our platform. So what that allows depends on what NLP engine you are using. Uh, what our platform NLP engine allows, that I can tell you. So you can enable multiple language. You can train the NLP on multiple languages that are enabled, so that the user conversation in any one of those languages are understood by the bot, and the bot responds back accordingly. Okay.
Yeah,
I
got it, Jayanti. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question. If we have, let's say, some pre-existing bots which are
Mm-hmm.
not core AI bot, okay, um, and if the assuming like something developed in Rasa or something, and they are being developed and have some kind of API also provided with it, can those be integrated in the core AI platform or kind of
Yes.
communicated between them?
Yes, yes. There you can integrate, bots built on other platforms. You need to refer. I don't have too much details on how you can do this, but it can be done through the BotKit layer. Okay, so you can see this Blue Prism bot. Blue Prism is actually an external bots platform that you can develop bots. Okay, through the BotKit layer, you can integrate bots which are developed on some other platform. Okay, so that is allowed, but how you do it, that you need to refer to our CS people. They can guide you better on that. But
Okay.
BotKit, the purpose of BotKit is that when you are integrating external things along with our bot. Okay, so that is why we need the BotKit layer.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so these are the different things that you can do with the BotKit.